Hussein.
No prize for third place. Nick Clegg warns Labour he won't prop up Gordon Brown's government.
This is the ITV News with Nina Hussein.
The Lib Dem leader has always avoided any talk of deals before the election, but today he told Labour not to rely on his party to keep them in power. Also tonight, all apologies. The Foreign Office says sorry to the Pope for an offensive memo about his visit to Britain. And a marathon effort. The seriously injured soldier who's walking through the night to complete 26 miles in 26 hours. Good evening. For the first time in the election campaign, Nick Clegg has outlined what he won't do in a hung parliament. Up until now, he'd kept all his options open, but today he ruled one out, saying he wouldn't support Gordon Brown if Labour got the smallest share of the vote. The Conservative leader David Cameron said a hung parliament could lead to drift and dither without change. Our senior political correspondent Chris Shipp reports.
It was an unusually tireless Gordon Brown who emerged onto Sunday's campaign trail while his party trailed in the polls in third place. But to listen to his communication attacking the Tories today would be to think the Lib Dem leader had not blown open this campaign, when of course he has, which has left the Prime Minister in an altogether sticky situation with less than 2 weeks to go.
It's when you see the Tory proposals that you realise fairness is in our DNA. It's in the British people's DNA. Fairness is at the core of the British people's DNA.
With Labour continuing to finish behind the Liberal Democrats in most of the opinion polls, Gordon Brown is now having to contemplate what he would do with a similar situation on polling day and whether he could justify any attempt at staying on as Prime Minister. And so possible is that situation of an inconclusive result. The Lib Dem leader today changed his language on which party he then would support.
It seems to me that it's just preposterous, the idea that if a party comes third in terms of the number of votes, it still has somehow the right to carry on squatting in number 10 and continue to lay claim to having the Prime Minister.
And while the Tory leader is now hinting that he would talk to the Lib Dems, David Cameron was urging voters in the North East to have hang-ups about hung parliaments.
I fear in a hung parliament it would be bickering, arguing, drift, dither. And also, would it be change? Would it really be change? We could all wake up and find we got this hung parliament and we thought we'd got rid of this government, but actually it could be another 5 years of Gordon Brown.
Publicly, they are all campaigning as hard as ever for a majority victory. Privately, they're making plans for an unclear result. And if last weekend was characterised by surprise at the surge in support for the Lib Dems, this weekend the party leaders have been coming to terms with it, and as well they might, because tomorrow the Sun newspaper has a poll which shows that the last full week of this campaign, yes it is now that close, will start like this. The Conservatives on 34%, Lib Dems 30%, Labour still in third place on 28%. And that's led Lord Mandelson to issue a campaign memo tonight saying now is the time for a workhorse, not a couple of what he calls show ponies. The Tories, however, will launch an anti-Lib Dem strategy at their press conference tomorrow. So unnerved are they at the rise in support for the Lib Dems.
OK, Chris Shipp, thank you. And on election night, Alistair Stewart will be here to guide you through the results as they happen.
From the moment the polls close to the moment of victory.
All the results as they happen with our best and clearest graphics.
And an exclusive election night party that anyone who's anyone will be at.
Join us live from 5 to 10 on May the 6th here on ITV1.
The minister in charge of the Pope's visit to Britain has condemned a leaked Foreign Office memo which suggested he could mark his trip by opening an abortion clinic, blessing a gay marriage or launching a range of condoms. But Jim Murphy insists the relationship with the Vatican hasn't been damaged. Rupert Evelyn has the details.
It was, we're told, the result of a brainstorming session to create the perfect papal visit. He should open an abortion clinic, bless a gay marriage and launch his own brand of condoms. All this from within an organisation that's meant to be diplomatic.
This is a visit by the Pope to Catholics in this country, and we don't expect the Foreign Office to begin from a platform of laughing at the idea, which is what they've done.
The memo, which was circulated to senior staff within the Foreign Office, was drawn up by people working on Pope Benedict's visit in the autumn. The individual responsible has been moved to other duties. That's not good enough, said some at Mass this morning.
It's rather typical of the public services that rather than being fired, or at least suspended, he seems to have just been moved to a different department.
Britain's ambassador to the Vatican has met with senior officials there to express the government's regret. And the Foreign Office has apologised, saying this is clearly a foolish document that does not in any way reflect UK government policy. Many of the ideas in the document are clearly ill-judged, naive and disrespectful.
It was just a paper that was written probably in jest, and it's just got out of control by first circulating it and then, it being leaked as if it was important.
The Vatican themselves have said the relationship is strong and enduring, and I don't think it will jeopardise in any way whatsoever the fantastic relationship that we've developed over recent years.
Although many people have been keen to treat this material as fairly trivial, it does serve to highlight some of the key issues facing the Church and the Pope himself. Child abuse, abortion, homosexuality and women priests will all be on the agenda, just not in the way some at the Foreign Office were planning. Rupert Eden, ITV News at Westminster Cathedral.
Football and Rangers are champions of Scotland for the second season in a row. They beat Hibs by 1-0 to seal the SPL title with 3 games still to play. Our Scotland correspondent Debbie Edward has been caught up in the celebrations.
A triumphant Rangers team returned to their home ground tonight to celebrate clinching another league title. Thousands of fans had gathered at Ibrox Stadium following their win in Edinburgh earlier in the day.
Good day, brilliant. Oh, yeah, brilliant day, great day. We are the people.
Rangers took their second successive Scottish Premier League with a 1-0 victory over Hibernian at Easter Road. Knowing they needed a win to retain their title, the Glasgow side dominated from the start, eventually taking the lead in the 17th minute. By half-time, some Rangers fans were already celebrating being champions. But Hibs came out fighting in the second half. The team denied what could have been a game-turning penalty. But Rangers have only lost twice this season, and they weren't going to let this one slip with the title for the taking. Holding out to last-minute pressure from Hibs, the one goal proved enough to see them crowned champions once again. The team receiving a hero's welcome in Glasgow.
This club has won 53 domestic league titles, more than any other club in the world. This time they've done it with 3 games still to spare in the season. The party here at Ibrox has only just started. Debbie Edwards, ITV News, Glasgow.
Chelsea are still on course for their first Premier League title in 4 years after thrashing Stoke City 7-0 at Stamford Bridge. Salomon Kalou and Frank Lampard scored 5 of the goals between them. Chelsea are a point ahead of Manchester United with 2 games to play. Everton and Aston Villa also won today. Burnley's defeat to Liverpool sealed their immediate return to the Championship. Finally, thousands of runners are relaxing tonight after completing the 30th London Marathon. The event attracted the usual mix of celebrities and costumed characters, but a real-life superhero is still to cross the line. Phil Packer's a seriously injured soldier who will walk through the night to complete the course, which this year was even fit for a princess. Phil Ray-Smith has this report.
Nearly 36,000 started the London Marathon in its 30th year, this group among them, setting a record for the greatest number, 34, of runners tied together to finish, and featuring as part of the team, Princess Beatrice.
It's all about repetition and practice. We've all been training so hard, practicing with all linked together, and that's been the most important thing.
Starting the race after most of the other participants, Phil Packer, who spent 2 weeks completing the course last year. The former Army Major suffered severe spinal cord injuries in Basra in 2008 and was told he may never walk again. Thanks to therapy and hard work, this time he's hoping to complete the course in just 26 hours.
We're coming up to the 6 mile mark.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Just up the road here.
Yep.
How's it going so far?
Really good. Set off a little bit quickly. I think I was quite excited by what we caught the first mile. There's a few crowds there. I mean, I haven't seen that before, so it's quite nice to meet everybody.
Far ahead, other athletes were celebrating their own remarkable achievements. Emmerdale actor Tony Audenshaw, this year's fastest celebrity, and the fastest runner ever, dressed as a baby. Many runners chose an outfit to stand out from the crowd, with superheroes a popular choice. But while they're all now nursing their blisters, Phil Packer's walk continues through the night, hoping to cross the finish line at noon. Phil Ray-Smith, ITV News.
And you can see how Phil gets on tomorrow's ITV Lunchtime News at 1:30. But that is all for tonight from everybody here on the Weekend Team. Good night.
You're not really enjoying this, are you? Well, it's hard with him following me around all day.
ITV1 National Weather, sponsored by Confused.com.
Hello again, good evening. Looking ahead to the next few days, there'll be more outbreaks of rain across the north. Elsewhere, it'll be brighter with 1 or 2 showers, but generally a fairly humid feel wherever you're going to be. Now, for tomorrow morning itself, it's going to be a wet picture across the Northern Isles, out towards the western part of Scotland, and also for Northern Ireland. It's going to be a case of sunshine and showers for much of the day. Eastern parts, best place to see some bright spells, and that's where temperatures should reach around 17 degrees Celsius, feeling very pleasant in the sunshine. Further south, just a few showers on the light side. Generally, there'll be some bright spells, and in those bright spells, we'll see those temperatures climbing to around 17 to 19 degrees Celsius. That's 66 in Fahrenheit. That's it for now. Whatever you're doing, have a good week, and I'll see you again soon.
ITV1 National Weather, sponsored by Confused.com.
ITV1 gives you clear analysis on this general election. Get the latest with ITV News, tonight's specials, and join Jonathan Dimbleby for live debates. We'll ensure you have the facts when it comes to leaving your mark. Join us for the general election on ITV1 and ITV1 HD.
Hotels.com sponsors the London weekend weather. Hotels.com. Wake up happy.
Hello, good evening. It comes as no surprise Saturday saw in the hottest day of the year so far. And weather patterns not looking too bad for the weekend. Certainly for the first part of the week, mostly dry and warm, but then turning showery towards the end of the week. And this is how pressure patterns are looking at them. We've got high pressure in charge, keeping things settled. But if I move the sequence onto Thursday, you can see the high slips away with low pressure moving into the northwest of the UK. And that, as I said, will push in some showery conditions. But overnight tonight, it's dry with clear spells. A little bit of low cloud pushing in by the end of the night, but that will at least hold up the temperatures. So tomorrow morning, a cloudy start to the day, but brightening up through the course of the morning. For the afternoon, it's not looking too bad, mostly dry, fine and bright. But if you're going to be out and about, perhaps worth keeping your umbrella to hand. The risk of seeing 1 or 2 showers, and they could be heavy at times. In the sunshine, highs of 18 or 19 degrees Celsius, just a gentle breeze. But as I said, it's looking pretty good for the first part of the week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got high pressure in charge, so dry, fine, some good spells of sunshine, just a gentle breeze. And it's going to be staying pretty warm too, with highs of 23 on Wednesday. 23 is 73 in Fahrenheit, feeling quite humid. But then towards the end of the week, it turns showery, cloud increases, and those showery conditions probably lasting for a few days. Bye-bye.
Hotels.com sponsors the London weekend weather.
He's challenged prime ministers and covered countless elections. He's an award-winning journalist and correspondent. Together, they have the experience and the political knowledge to bring you the best election coverage and the issues that really matter to you. John Stapleton and James Mates. Election 2010 on GMTV.
Now on ITV1, widely regarded as one of the greatest composers and lyricists in American musical theatre, the award-winning Stephen Sondheim is the subject of tonight's South Bank show, Revisited.